So rumor is the Atlanta Falcons are looking to trade their fourth overall pick as of course, like 4 hours ago as of the record of this video. So basically in this video, I'm going to give you guys 5 scenarios and 5 ways things can go down with a little bit of, more information on how those things can go down. Before we get right into the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Click on the notification bell, help me out a little bit. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, my first scenario is that Atlanta trades the 4th overall pick to Denver for the 9th overall pick and maybe get a second rounder in return on top of that. Now, of course, we all know the Atlanta Falcons, they don't quite need a quarterback. I understand that Matt Ryan's getting a little bit older. However, a quarterback's not the number one need at this point. Like, you need O-linemen and defensive linemen, and the O-line class, it's strong, but like a lot of the O-linemen, like the top linemen, such as Gregory Rousseau, or if we're talking about the offensive side, guy from Oregon, Pitty Stewell, something like that. That's how you pronounce his name, I'm guessing. However, those guys set out for this year, so you can easily trade down and still get them at high value at pick number 9, which the Denver Broncos have. And of course, Denver trading up to 4 makes sense because they might want to replace Drew Lock, who has been literally probably the least accurate quarterback in the league within the past couple of years. Drew Lock has been pretty disappointing, but who knows, maybe they want a receiver, maybe they want a running back, maybe they want to just trade up to get somebody on the defense. You never know, but in my opinion, this trade makes sense for both teams. Now, second scenario, the Atlanta Falcons trade to the Cowboys in return for the 10th pick, and who knows, maybe even a star on top of that. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, they are in need of a running back, and of course, they got Mike Davis, but I don't think he's quite starter quality. I would say that he's a great backup running back, and that's no shade on him. He's still a great running back, still a great pickup. However, maybe the Falcons could somehow land Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe they could somehow land DeMarcus Lawrence. Or maybe they could just get a defensive player with the 10th pick. Maybe Patrick Surtain or something like that. However, this trade makes sense for the Atlanta Falcons because, it fits their needs. Patrick Surtain is expected to go in the top 10. Of course, you still have Micah Parsons around that range. I believe that Gregory Rousseau will still be available. Pitty Stewell will still be available. And you can also get some O-line debt. Maybe, who am I thinking about? I'm thinking of Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith, maybe you can get him to come and, come to Atlanta. You never know with that draft pick and that choice and that trade. However, the Atlanta Falcons, they have a lot of choices to choose from here, especially given the fact that they've restructured Matt Ryan's contract, so the cap room looks a little bit better. As far as the Cowboys go, I think personally they will probably get the 4th overall pick and probably trade it for something else because they don't really need it. Unless they're trying to get a defensive player high, unless they're trying to get somebody like Patrick Surtain really high up in the rounds, I don't see any sense of the Cowboys needing the 4th overall pick. Maybe they want to draft some insurance at quarterback. I don't know why you would want to do that, especially after you paid Dak Prescott the second highest paid contract in the league. However, you never know with the Dallas Cowboys. They're one of those questionable organizations that have made questionable picks. And of course, who doesn't want another receiver? Maybe they need another receiver. Third scenario, the Atlanta Falcons trade the 4th pick to the LA Chargers for the 13th pick. Now, the LA Chargers also have some pieces. Of course, they have a 2nd round pick, a 3rd round pick, and maybe the Atlanta Falcons can land former All-Pro defensive end Melvin Ingram. He hasn't quite had the best year, especially last year. He was hurt a little bit, and it's a pretty safe deal for Atlanta. He's not getting paid too much. It's not an insane rate. It's at least when we compare him to somebody like Joey Bosa, who's getting paid $30 million a year. It's not an insane rate of pay. It's a decent rate of pay. I believe the Atlanta Falcons can definitely afford it, especially if they trade back another piece. Maybe somebody on the team such as Russell Gage, somebody getting paid a decent amount of money that we probably don't quite need as much as we need, a defensive end. Somebody who can really make a difference on the defense. And of course, the Chargers, they might want to get a number 1 receiver or at least another receiver to go right next to Keenan Allen, who has been absolutely carrying that receiving core for the past couple of years. I know Mike Williams is good, but he's more of a 3rd receiver. He's not really the best wide receiver. He's still a great receiver, but he's not a top receiver. He's not the guy that we expected him to be. So maybe a receiver could be a choice for the LA Chargers at 4. Maybe they want to replace Melvin Ingram, a guy who I think and just said the Falcons could trade back for and possibly get in a trade that involves the 4th overall pick. Who knows? It could be a lot of possible scenarios that go on with this trade. That's what I like about this the most. Who knows, maybe the Chargers select Patrick Surtain to replace Casey Hayward, who had gotten old and eventually got traded. And, of course, free agency and all that stuff. Casey Hayward, great corner. However, maybe the Chargers are looking for a replacement. Now, for my 4th scenario, the Atlanta Falcons trade down to number 7 with the Detroit Lions. In my opinion, this scenario makes almost the most sense. The Atlanta Falcons could trade down to number 7 and still get pretty high value, maybe an offensive lineman, maybe a top defensive end in the draft, and the Detroit Lions can probably get a quarterback. I know that they just recently traded actually, for Jared Goff in that trade that involved him and Matthew Stafford. However, maybe you want to get some backup, just in case Jared Goff does not work in a Lions system that has literally been, like, it's literally famous for ruining and wasting the primes of people's careers. Calvin Johnson, for example, and of course, Matthew Stafford. That's one reason he wanted to seek a trade in the first place. This team has been very, very, very bad in the last couple of years, especially when it comes to the running game. And speaking of the running game, maybe they can go and get a running back with the 4th overall pick. Who knows? Maybe they traded for something else. Maybe they traded for more depth. Who knows what the Lions will do with this pick? However, as far as the Atlanta Falcons go, they could still get really, really good value. It makes a lot of financial sense as well because you won't have to pay as much to the 7th pick as you have to pay for the 4th pick. And who knows, you might actually be getting better value at 7, especially considering the vast amount of players who decided to sit out this year. It makes a lot of sense. The Detroit Lions, they might want to draft a quarterback, and quite honestly, can you blame them? Especially looking at the lack of great production that Jared Goff has had since that Super Bowl season. I don't think you really can, and I wouldn't blame the Lions grabbing some insurance on the 4th overall pick in the draft anyways. Now for my 5th and last little scenario, I have the Atlanta Falcons trading down to number 11 with the Giants. Now, this is huge because I believe the Atlanta Falcons could actually land a core defensive piece like Leonard Williams. As you may or may not know, Leonard Williams was a main target back when he got drafted in 2015, 2016, 2014. It was one of those years. He was one of the main targets when the Falcons drafted Vic Beasley, and of course, Leonard Williams ended up getting drafted earlier. So maybe the Atlanta Falcons get that guy. Leonard Williams is a great defensive lineman, by the way. I believe he had 9 sacks last year, played for the Giants last season. He was an absolute force, and he's one of the best interior linemen in the NFL. I believe that this could be a great trade. And of course, the Detroit Lions are going to want to land a core quarterback at least. Not the Detroit Lions. The Giants, the New York Giants, are going to want to land a quarterback, maybe at the 4th overall pick. Maybe they trade down. Maybe they just stay at their pick. However, I wouldn't blame them drafting insurance for Daniel Jones, especially looking at his so-so throwing ability. We're still not so sure about that. We're not sure. He shows flashes of being a great quarterback, but we're not sure if he can be the franchise quarterback that the New York Giants have been looking for ever since the departure of Eli Manning back in 2016, 2018, one of those seasons. Now, of course, for my little rebuttal on everything, I believe the Atlanta Falcons trading this pick is one of the smartest things you can do. You don't really need a quarterback. It's not an immediate need as of right now. Matt Ryan is still on his huge contract, and he's not super old. He's still 35, and we've seen a lot of quarterbacks go past the age of 35, 36, even up to 40. It's becoming more common nowadays, especially with the advancements of things like technology and the advancements of things like the medical field. However, I believe the Atlanta Falcons trading down is a perfectly smart decision. As a fan of the Falcons myself, I would be perfectly okay with that. I would not have a problem with the Atlanta Falcons trading down to maybe go and get somebody like Penei Sewell or somebody like Patrick Surtain, or even somebody like Gregory Rousseau down maybe in 15 or somewhere outside of the lottery, which would be probably the top 12 to 15 picks, depending on how you describe the lottery. Of course, thank you for watching. Really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for watching. We're trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of this month, really. I would really love it. We're at 77 right now, so we are growing. Of course, as you guys know, all the links will be in the description. I am on Spotify. I'm on iHeartRadio. You can see all those links there. Deezer. You will see all those links down there in the description. And, of course, thank you for watching. Stay loved. Stay blessed. Thank you for watching this video.